pet just died, or if they're getting ready to pass, you're probably dealing with some really hard questions like, what happens now? And am I ever going to hear from them again? And did I do right by them? Grieving pet parents are kept awake by questions like this all the time. But I have answers because I've asked the animals themselves. My name's Danielle McKinnon. I've been a professional animal communicator. Yes, that means pet psychic for over 25 years. And that's how long I've been helping people get answers to these types of questions. But if you want a little extra help, you can get my 48 Signs from Animals in the Afterlife PDF down in the description because that might help you too. So let's start with the first question that most grieving pet parents ask, which is, what happens to my pet's soul now that they've crossed over? There are like three important things you need to know about this. First of all, when a pet dies, they leave their physical body behind, but their soul continues on. And what that means is they don't care anymore about their physical body. So you're free to do what you want to honor their passing, meaning you can cremate, you can bury, you can do whatever is right for you because that's no longer an attachment that they have. Their attachment really is to you. The second thing is they have souls, and the soul is now free of the physical body. So any limitations, any upsets, any problems that were going on when the animal was alive, they no longer exist once the animal has crossed over. The third piece of this is that soul needs a little time to adjust. So just like you, where your pet's crossed over, you've got to think about it, you've got to feel your way through. You're in this place where you're grieving and you're adjusting to all of the changes. Your pet soul needs to do the same. They're used to dragging around a physical body. So there's a little adjustment period that comes up where the animal is more focused on getting used to interacting with you in a new way, being with this new vibration, because the physicality of the physical body, I know that's a goofy phrase, but the weight, the heft, the reality of the physical body actually holds them and tethers them. So there's an adjustment that has to happen, a getting used to, kind of like if you suddenly lost a whole lot of weight, or you always had long hair and you suddenly cut it to short hair. You need to adjust to what's going on here. So what's happening to the animal's soul is adjustment, just like you in both the physical and at the soul level are going through adjustment, getting used to them having passed. Okay, this brings us to the next super common question that grieving pet parents ask. And it is, what do I do about all this guilt that I feel? And this could be guilt around the way that you lived with this animal. This could be guilt around the way that they crossed over. We have all this guilt because we're human and we tend to like to beat ourselves up. So, first of all, you have to know that there's a bigger picture going on here. And when your animal crosses over, it is because they planned this passing. I have tons of other videos that go into a lot of detail about this, but this is what I know the animals want you to understand. They planned this passing because they completed the work that they came here to do in this body, meaning you learned whatever lesson they came here to teach you. So the animal knows at the very deepest level what that learning really is. Does it mean you mastered it? Not necessarily, but it does mean that that animal knows that you learned as much as you were going to learn of this soul level lesson with them being in their physical body. So what that means is there can't be any mistakes around when they passed because they actually planned this passing. They said, oh, I know it's time. I'm about ready to go. Okay, now I'm ready to go. They planned who was there, how they died, who wasn't there. They planned the whole thing. I know that's really hard to get your head around because you probably want to sit here beating yourself up. I should have done more. I should have done this. I should have changed that. But that's just human stuff. When I ask the animals specifically, why did you die now? Why did it happen now? They have such amazing answers around this. They can tell me exactly, oh, their human was working on this lesson and this is how far they came on it. And they got to the point where they could do this thing now. They will also know if it's helpful to that person's lesson or not, for them to be there for their animals passing or not. And you know what? This whole planning thing also includes euthanasia. It is part of their plan. So if you chose euthanasia and now you're feeling really guilty around it, know that you were just following your animal's plan behind the scenes. what is the healthiest way for me to deal with all of this grief and this guilt that I'm feeling and all this stuff that's going on? The first thing kind of harkens back to what we were talking about with the pets planning their passing. Guilt is an emotion that actually gets in the way of the grief. And so many people feel the guilt about how their animal crossed over. So if you can take the guilt and kind of move it to the side and go, all right, I can't control that. I can't change anything. That emotion is there. It's my humanness coming up. And instead, sit in the grief. You're going to find it is actually a lot easier to get yourself to a place where you're having positive memories about the animal or being able to call out to them and receive messages back, which we'll talk about soon. But we've got to separate out the guilt from the grief. And that just simply means doing this. I'm having these emotions, I'm having these feelings come up, I'm having these thoughts come up about my pet who has passed, which they love when you think about them. They love when you remember them. But if it's the I wish I did, I wish I didn't, I should sue so and so, I'm so mad about this, all of that, that's the human stuff. And it is not helpful to the grieving process. Just call it out. Oh, that's guilt. Oh, that's anger. Oh, like call it out like that. And it kind of helps move that energy to the side because your pet wants you to be in your grief, experiencing that grief and moving through that grief because you know what that grief represents? It represents the big love that you had for them. So now in the grief, one of the best things that you can do is you can continue talking with them. You can continue involving them in your life, but not in a like a overly involved way. You don't have to tell them, "Hey, I'm gonna make dinner now. Now I'm walking to the bathroom." Like, no. But when you're sitting down quietly, talk to them. Remember them. Feel the love you have for them. And the love and the grief, yeah, they go together. But eventually, what happens is the love overtakes the grief. In the beginning, the grief is bigger. But as you go through this process and as you allow yourself to have those times where you're thinking positively about them, they love it. And it allows them to give more of their unconditional love to you. So we got the grief getting smaller and we got the unconditional love getting bigger. I know it sounds crazy, but they are inversely proportionate, except the grief is never gonna go away. It's just that at some point in your process, the love that you feel for them is able to be bigger than the grief. And they love when you're able to get to that place. If you're not able to get to that place, it's okay too, because every time you think of them, even in grief, it does bring them closer to you. Grieving pet parents always want to know the answer to this question. What are the signs that my animal on the other side is reaching out to me? How can I know what those signs are? So, first of all, what you can't do is you can't say, Fido, please send me pennies on the third Thursday of every month. It doesn't work that way. We want to allow our animal on the other side to send signs in the best way that they know how. Our human brains can't conceive of all of the incredible ways. So if we ask for a sign, we can simply say, hey, Fido, please give me a sign. Hey, Fido, give me a sign tonight. Hey, Fido, please let me know when you're around. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Just don't narrow the field of what they can do. Fido knows exactly how you need to receive the sign, when the best time is, when it's going to serve you best. So let them use their in spirit wisdom to get you a sign. I did just post on my channel, hey, what signs have you received? And you know what was really cool? One of the most common ones that people commenting is they were in bed and they felt their pet jump up on the bed. And then they felt a few walks or they felt a snuggle. That is a super common sign. I haven't personally received that one, but that's a super common one. Another one is you see them go by out of the corner of your eye. Another one is you feel like you just heard them somewhere. So what really matters here is not the list of the signs that I can give you right now in 20 seconds in this video. Although I do have 48 signs from Pets in the Afterlife PDF, free PDF for you. You can get that down in the description. What really matters here is that you are paying attention to when it pops into your head that it might be a sign. That is the sign that it's a sign. But if you think that might have been a sign, that's your pet giving you a sign that they just gave you a sign. And if you can learn to trust that, you're going to get way, way, way more signs. All right, let's get to the probably most important question. How can I reconnect with pet and spirit if I'm not psychic? So, the first thing to know is that everybody is psychic. Some of us have worked to open those psychic abilities up, like me, but everybody is actually born with psychic abilities, just like all animals have intuition as well. So, you don't have to technically be psychic, except that you already are. So, some of what I'm going to say is going to take advantage of skills that you have innately within you. So, the first thing to do is to pay attention to how you're feeling. If you want to reconnect with your pet on the other side, you absolutely don't want to be in a super cry y state. That lowers your vibration. And when we connect with animals on the other side, we need our vibration to be high because their vibration is very high. So, this is harder to match up than this. That's a shorter distance. So you really want to make sure that you're feeling calm, that you're feeling peaceful, that you're also feeling some love. Like, can you get yourself into a place of love about this animal that you want to connect with? Now, that can be really hard. If you are deeply in the grieving process, it's going to take you a little bit to be able to get there, but that's okay. I have tons of stuff on energy management throughout my channel, so you can find that if you need that. Then, from this place of love, start talking to them. I know that that seems crazy because they're gone, but they're not gone. They're around, they're just not in the physical. You're going to need to talk to them in a way where you are leaving space for them to respond. It is not a monologue. It is a sit down in your chair, lay down in your bed, have a happy memory of them, and then have a conversation where you leave space for them to respond. Now, in the beginning, you're going to be like, this feels stupid. I'm laying here in my bed. I'm talking with Fido, who's in spirit, and in between, it's all empty. Hey, Fido, I miss you and I love you. You're filling him in on your day a little bit, but you can also give them space. Hey, Fido, guess who I saw today? Wait a moment. The energy needs to open up and for the animal to be able to respond. If you and I are having a conversation, you don't just speak at me. There are times when you're quiet and you're quiet because you're receiving information back. So the act of having the conversation, I'm going to suggest you have it out loud with your pet and spirit, and then stopping for a moment to be in a receptive state to receive conversation back is the first step in animal communication after making sure you're in the right state of mind. So that's how you're going to begin. Now, after you've been doing this for a bit, you may notice that you start getting a feeling or a picture or an idea comes into your head, or you hear a weird bird outside the house. All of these things count as the beginning of you receiving intuitive information back from your beloved pet on the other side. And if you want that extra help figuring out what those signs are, remember to get my free PDF, 48 Signs from Pets in the Afterlife, down in the description.